Hello? Your Health is Calling, where holistic health meets practical solutions for your well-being. With your host, speaker, New York Times bestselling author, Sue Kostyk, a seasoned holistic health practitioner and longevity coach. Join Sue each week to embark on a journey to uncover the root causes of your health concerns. Through a personalized approach, learn how to decode the messages your body is sending and craft natural protocols to address them. Call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hello, Your Health is Calling. I'm Sue Kostyk, and I'm an integrative health practitioner. Integrative health is it basically focuses on root cause of what is going on with your symptoms, with what you're feeling. We dig really deep via functional lab testing so that we can find out what the root cause of your symptoms are, not just put a band-aid on the symptom, but really figure out why things are going on. And so we have been, over the course of the last couple of weeks, been talking about our immune system. And, we've been walking into cold and flu season. We really should be calling it the inflammation season, because we set ourselves up for illness based on our lifestyle. And, the cold and flu season really starts right around Halloween. It travels through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. A lot of people get the flu right after the New Year. And what has been happening is we've just been setting ourselves up. We start with the sugar overload, with probably not eating what we should be, and maybe not exercising as much, more alcohol than normal with all the parties and everything. And not to say that you need to restrict yourself, so severely during this time, but being, knowledgeable and, knowing what those effects have on your body and just being able to combat it. The past couple of weeks, I've talked about functional medicine detoxes to get your liver set up for this season so it can be at its strongest. And so, it kind of leads me into the next topic that I feel very compelled to talk about. And that is how our immune system, when it gets so low, or our immune system starts attacking itself, we start seeing chronic disease come in. And I want to talk about chronic disease, why we have it, and what you can do actually to avoid it. There is the adage that we hear all the time about our genetics, and that is true. Our genetics predispose us to certain things. But our lifestyle and what we start doing early in our teens, 20s, 30s is what's going to pull the trigger later in life that will, kind of trigger that genetic predisposition, if you will. So, chronic disease, it doesn't just happen. It, it's a disease that kind of marinates, and chronic disease, illnesses, cancers, any other health issues, they don't just happen overnight. The same goes with cold and flu. You think of any health issue that you have, it's not something that, oh my gosh, that just hit me out of the blue. You feel that way because your body is set up to survive. So it's going to, start sitting into some of this uneasiness that you're feeling, and it's going to become normal. And then all of a sudden you're going to feel like it's hit you out of the blue. And, it's just a slow wearing down of your immune system. And then it gives way to poor health. Conventional medicine is starting to turn the corner on gut health and how it affects your overall wellness. In fact, as early as 2013, there was an NIH article, a National Institute of Health article, that talked about autoimmunity and the gut, and it details kind of the pathology of disease. The problem is we're only seeing the outcome. of the disease. So we're not the outcome. Sorry, just totally lost my train of thought. We're only seeing the outcome of the disease, and those are the symptoms. We're not necessarily, you know, going along life and all of a sudden you have fatigue. That's not the disease. That's a symptom of the disease. You know, weight gain, joint pain, skin issues, infertility, autoimmune situations, digestive situation, cancers. You know, the disease is, let's think about the tip of an iceberg. You know, an iceberg, you only see the tip. Let's all think back to the Titanic, and you only see the tip. And what's underneath that is far larger than what you see. And it's really the underlying causes that are far bigger than the actual symptoms and things that you actually see. So, you know, the disease names are all different. They're all different expressions of just a malfunction in your body. They're manifestations of an imbalanced body just really trying desperately to rebalance itself. You know, like I said, the symptoms are an outward sign. So once you start feeling those symptoms, then you know it's not like it's too late, but that's not your body messing up. It's just telling you that something's wrong. It's like, let's think about this. The symptom is not the disease. So let's talk about, you know, you all of a sudden have a fever. The fever is not the illness. What the fever's doing is it's your body speeding up the flow of white blood cells, and you know it's raising your body temperature so that it can kill the bacteria or the virus that is causing the infection. So, you know, we kind of all of a sudden we have a little bit of a fever, we want to take some kind of fever reducer so we feel better, but we're not letting our body do its job. Now, if your fever goes, you know, over 102, then yes, there's time to take action. But when you have a low grade fever, and especially in children, their fevers tend to get higher because their little bodies produce this so quickly. And they tend to recover quicker because their fevers go higher. But we don't want to suppress the symptom. We want to figure out what's going on, because by just suppressing the symptom, there's no healing going on. It can't, because if we suppress the fever, then our body isn't heating up to kill that. So when we have some kind of a chronic disease and we're just taking a pill to suppress that symptom that's making us uncomfortable, we're not healing because we're not getting rid of the underlying root cause. You know, I've talked on several podcasts about root cause and about functional lab testing, and you can go to any one of these. They live in YouTube at the Reinvented Life Network, and you just can, you know, search this and, you know, like it, subscribe to it. That way you'll get all of these, and you can go back and you can re-listen. They're only 20 to 30 minutes long. They're not long, but it'll also go into more detail about some of the things that I'm talking about today. You can also email me at support@helloyourhealthiscalling.com, and I'll make sure that I guide you in the right direction. So when we're treating symptoms, we're missing the target. We're missing the main thing about why we have the symptom. You know, symptoms are a response. It's just a response to an underlying root cause. That's the issue. We could be having a hormone imbalance. And not just your sex hormones. I'm talking about your cortisol, which is your stress hormone. You could be having an imbalance of bacteria, parasites, or yeast, which is going to cause gut permeability, which is not a situation you want to be in. We could have an excess of inflammation, not necessarily joint pain inflammation, but you know, a excess of the wrong omegas No, that's another thing we test for. You could have food sensitivities. Food sensitivities are big. We don't realize it because it's not an allergy. It doesn't kill you. But if you have a food sensitivity, it could make you very uncomfortable, and it could cause this immune response in your body that then therefore causes inflammation. So heavy metal toxicity is another one that we do not pay enough attention to. We, depending on your age, you have mercury fillings, you use aluminum in your cooking, you use aluminum in your antiperspirants, there's heavy metals in our beauty products. Women, especially, we should test our heavy metals once a year because we put so much on our bodies, lotions, makeup, hair products, perfumes, all that stuff is, if it's not organic and, derived from the earth, then it does have some toxicity in it. So that's another thing. Candles and air fresheners too. Mineral deficiencies. If we've got mineral deficiencies, then that's going to also cause some root cause issues in your body. So, the number one trigger for disease is increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut. I would say 95% of my clients that do the lab testing come back with gut permeability. That's either an overgrowth of bacteria, parasites, um, yeast, and it's easy to remove. It's a process, but when you go to a conventional doctor and you're diagnosed with what they call SIBO, which is the same thing, it's leaky gut, they're going to give you an antibiotic to remove that. And yes, it will kill it, but it's also going to continue doing damage and kill everything that you're trying to do. So, you want to be careful and really go for those functional lab tests. They dig deep. And again, support at helloyourhealthiscalling.com. Best way to reach me. We can review all the tests. There's 5 of them. And some people need to do all 5, some don't, but we can figure it out. So when you have this leaky gut, um, the foods, the bacteria, the pathogens, the yeast, those are getting into your bloodstream. And that is directly going through your body, and it turns on the exaggerated immune response and it causes massive imbalances. And then, the byproduct of these imbalances is inflammation, which causes chronic disease. So, inflammation is not the root cause. Inflammation is a symptom, and it's your body telling you that there's something wrong. We often want to just say, oh, I have excess inflammation, and therefore this is happening. But, all of the autoimmune conditions are just different manifestations of your genetic predisposition. So when the environment is ripe, that's going to be expressed. So I have people fill out a pretty long intake form in my practice. And it does ask for family history because it's important to know what you're genetically predisposed to. It doesn't mean that you're going to have that. It doesn't mean that at all. My family has a history of Alzheimer's, and that is also something that is genetic, but it can also be triggered by lifestyle. And so, because I know this, then I take all of the precautions that I need to make sure that my brain is healthy, and that I keep my inflammation levels low and my immune system high, because I don't want that trigger to be pulled. And there is also a test that you can test to see if you have that genetic predisposition. So, another thing that people don't understand or realize, because you don't know what you don't know, is things like rheumatoid arthritis. These are now, early on when these diseases were, being exposed, we weren't quite sure where they were coming from. We knew that it was inflammation, but now our telescopes are they're really powerful. And scientists have been finding that there are bacteria particles, microbacteria particles that weren't seen before, but now they're seeing it, and it's in causing, like, these cells have the bacteria in it, so it's causing the immune system to be confused and attack itself. And again, if the genetic predisposition is RA, then that's what your body's going to go to. So, and again, let's talk about Hashimoto's, our thyroid issues. Heavy metals play a huge part in a lot of these thyroid diseases because the heavy metals block iodine and selenium, which your body needs for thyroid function. So by uncovering these things, we find out you have gut bacteria, excess leaky gut. So we find and we remove that. So then the bacteria is not getting into your cells and causing that rheumatoid arthritis. We find that you've got heavy metals that are being wasted through your hair, and it's blocking the usage of those minerals in your body to promote a healthy thyroid. So, it's literally just figuring out what the root cause is. And, in order to reverse these things, you have to make your body, a hospitable place to live in and not want to combat itself with these immune disruptions. And, you find out what's overgrowing and you find out what you're depleted in. And then you go on to, figuring it out. You need to clear it out. You need to clear out as many of these things as possible. And, I'm not going to tell you that it's like this, it takes time to remove excess bacteria. It takes about 3 months, but it's a process because you have to remove it, then you have to replace it. So, you need to clear out as many of these things as you can, because at the end of the day, this is what is going to cause chronic illness and, cause even sometimes even death. We lost a family member a week and a half ago, and she was only 57 years old. And it's just quite sad to me that it could have been, she possibly could be living today if she had taken better care of herself. She was very overweight. She had psoriatic arthritis, a lot of immune situations, asthma, all these things that, taking a pill for every ill just exasperates any kind of chronic situation you have. And I do believe that if she had believed more in a holistic approach, she was actually trained to get healthy. She was exercising more. She was trained to eat better, but it was too late. And it's just, to me, that kind of thing, it seems so useless and unnecessary. And I think that, as our world progresses and the conventional Western medicine world progresses, we are finding that there is a way that Western medicine and integrative health can live together, and we can do things together hand in hand. There's some acute situations that you do need the medications for, but when it's chronic and it's inflammatory and your immune system is just wrecked, then there is something you can do, and it's really about uncovering whatever it is that's ailing you. Now, if you're listening or watching and you're like, oh, I'm healthy, I eat right, I exercise daily, I'm at a great weight, great, keep it up, because this health starts early on. And the best way to combat anything chronic is really to incorporate the de-stress protocol that I talked about way on when I first started this podcast. Again, you can go back to YouTube, the Reinvented Life Network, and go back and find these full-length topics on the de-stress protocol. Sometimes I spent 2 weeks on one letter of the acronym. So, what can you do? The de-stress protocol is about diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotions, maintaining a good mental health, supplementation, and a success mindset. And you don't have to focus on all of them at once, but if you're cognizant of how these 7 or 8 things will help you in the long run, and it's simple, it's stuff you don't have to purchase this distress protocol. You just have to do them. So you need to prioritize your diet. 80% of the time, eat whole foods. Stay away from the processed foods. The processed foods are going to be the undermining of our nation, basically. The standard American diet is the worst that you could possibly do. I can't stress enough how your diet, it's not um, restricting yourself, but it is, 80-90% of the time, make sure you're eating whole foods. Make sure you're lowering your sugar intake. Make sure you are lowering your alcohol intake. Those are the things that are going to keep you healthy. It's going to keep your immune system high, especially during this season. Exercise. It's not about going to the gym and killing yourself. It's literally about movement. So if you are one of those people who love to run and love to do HIIT and love the CrossFit, that's great. Keep it up. I'm not telling you to stop. But for the people who are sedentary, who don't move, if you don't move, you will lose it. And that is just such a truth. 10,000 steps a day, work up to it. Get a tracker, get a steps tracker, figure out how you can I do a 30-minute walk in the morning, at lunch, and at dinner? Can I, get up from my desk every hour and just move for 10 minutes? Whatever it takes to just start moving. You don't need to start with HIIT. You don't need to start with boot camp. You just need to start moving. I can't, stress that enough. The diet and the exercise. Stress reduction. Stress is going to be the number one killer. I mean, it probably already is, but it just hasn't been recognized yet. And stress is one of the leading causes of a lot of the reasons why our body breaks down, because we are chronically stressed. We wear stress as a badge of honor. Oh, I'm so stressed out. How great is that? I don't sleep at night. How great is that? It's stress is not your friend. And learning how to manage your stress. I know the world is stressful right now. Trust me. I know that young parents are stressed out. I know that there is so many things causing stress. But when you learn to manage it, when you're moving your body, that helps combat the cortisol that you're releasing all the time. When you are eating the right foods, it's not further stressing out your body. So, learning to manage your stress and, you know, removing those toxins that we talked about. Toxin removal is huge. We have over 80,000 man-made chemicals in this world. And as women, we're putting about 170 on our skin every day. So, it's like toxins abound. We cannot escape them. So, understanding that and really trying to focus on knowing like what to buy conventional, what to buy organic, what's been oversprayed with pesticides. The EWG.org, it's the Environmental Working Group. They have a list that comes out every year, Clean 15, Dirty Dozen. You can actually go on my website and get it, symmetryhealthandwellness.com. You can look up products on this website actually, and it'll tell you how clean it is. Anything from makeup to detergents to household cleaners. Cleaning up your environment is going to be another really good way to just keep yourself healthy. Rest, prioritizing your rest. I'm not saying that you should nap every day, but naps are, really underrated. 20 minutes, not 2 hours. But rest, prioritizing rest, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. I know many of you are laughing at me right now, but your body cannot heal in less than 7 hours of sleep, of good quality sleep. So, prioritizing rest, prioritizing sleep, it's the only way that your body can maintain any kind of balance. So, get in touch with me, please. Support at helloyourhealthiscalling.com. We can figure it out why you're not sleeping. A lot of times we go back to the results of the lab tests that we do and we figure out why you're not sleeping. Because if you have bacterial overgrowth in your gut, if you have heavy metal toxicity, that's not allowing your body to rest because your liver is working so hard just to keep up. So prioritizing rest, emotions. I think I spent 2 weeks on emotions because mental health is so important. um, toxic emotions are going to wreak havoc on your health. So, learning how to manage emotions and what those, I think there's 9 toxic emotions. I think I went over those in detail. Supplementation. Through our testing, we find out what you're depleted in. You do not deplete of chemicals. You do not deplete of synthetics. So if you are buying your vitamins from the grocery store, from where Target, from Costco, 99.9% of those are not being absorbed. So you need to figure out the supplementation that you need and good quality supplementation that your body identifies. It's like I said, we don't deplete of chemicals. We don't deplete of synthetics. What we do deplete of is what is made from the earth and minerals. So find a supplement that mimics what your body needs. Success mindset. It's easy. It's so easy, especially right now in this season, to be doom and gloom and to be very negative. And also, if you're trying something new, if you're stepping out in faith and doing something new, keep that positive mindset. Failure is not bad. We have demonized failure so much. It is learning. You need to learn. You need to keep that positive mental attitude. So I've covered a lot. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I just want to reiterate, your health is not a hobby. Your health should be a priority if you want to live a long, active, healthy life. Um, you know, you're either going to pay for your health now or you're going to pay for it later. And, trying to cure a disease or just, masking symptoms will be expensive. So, invest in your health now and make sure that you know what you have going on. If your body is giving you a symptom, it's a reason. It's calling out to you. Hello, your health is calling. So please answer it. And I will see you next week and we'll see what the topic is. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Hello, Your Health is Calling with Sue Kostyk. Remember, your health journey is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions, insights, or stories to share, don't hesitate to reach out. You can connect with us on social media or call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A. Together, we're transforming lives and embracing holistic well-being. Until next time, prioritize your health and remember,